More than 2 years after a Local 12 News investigation that eventually led to a 69-count criminal indictment, a state rep from the tri-state gives up his seat in the Ohio House. Local 12's Rich Jaffe was first to report on the securities fraud case against Mason Republican Pete Beck. Rick joins us from the newsroom now with today's new developments. Rich?
Rob, this is a real fall from grace for someone who was one of the most powerful Republicans in the state. And frankly, a lot of people are surprised it took Beck this long to resign. In his resignation letter to the Speaker of the House, Peter Beck said he has personal matters in December that will require his attention. He went on to say, "God is in control of my walk, and this, I believe, is a step I must take for now." We first brought you the allegations to light in an exclusive story in the fall of 2012. That's the only time Beck has spoken publicly. He denied any wrongdoing, saying he was simply an accountant for an investment group. He said he was actually a victim in the fraud. As we reported, investors lost millions. A few months later, Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine and the Hamilton County prosecutor announced the indictment of Beck and his business associates. Charged with 69 counts of theft and securities fraud, among other things, Beck steadfastly has maintained his innocence. At the same time, though, all of his associates agreed to plea deals in exchange for testifying against him in his upcoming trial. While there's another court date set for December 18th, in this case, the reality is that unless Beck pleads, the case will go to trial next year. And if convicted on all of those counts, Pete Beck's looking at hundreds of years in prison. In the newsroom, Rich Jaffe, Local 12 News. Rob?
Rich, is there any plea deal on the table you know of?
Well, as a matter of fact, it's such a Loctite case, if there is such a thing, in situations like this, with all of those other guys agreeing to plead against him, that frankly, there may not be any deal on the table right now because, frankly, the prosecutors really don't need one. Will Beck try and work out a plea deal in the remaining days of this thing? Perhaps, but we'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, Rich Jaffe, thanks very much. Beck lost in the May primary election, you may recall, so even without resigning, he was about to be out of office. He stepped down last year from his position as the head of the House Ways and Means Committee, and you can read his entire resignation letter at local12.com.